Ahora sí, buenas noches, buenos días. Martín, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás, Eduardo? Hola, hola a todos.
Hola, pues bueno, aquí empezamos nuevamente una de las aventuras más, y digo aventuras más porque siempre coincidir las horas, luego aquí ya tengo que tener un gráfico, porque ya ahora no solamente es a veces Martín, Australia, ahora cuando tenemos algún invitado, tienen varios horarios y bueno, hay que sincronizar 3 horarios en vivo y a veces es complicado, pero bueno. Martín, ¿cómo te fue esta semana? ¿Qué novedades? ¿Cómo has visto todo?
Sí, muy bien, muy bien. Acá en Australia todo muy bien esta semana, positiva, porque están levantando las restricciones del COVID. Am, Así que en la próxima semana se eliminan la mayoría de las restricciones, solo quedan muy poquitas. Y también abrieron el país a turistas internacionales, así que la gente está de muy buen ánimo. Y en trenes, sí, ahí vienen algunas novedades. Estamos preparando algunos videos con mi hijo Nico.
Ujú.
Así que no quiero decir nada hasta que tenga los videos listos, pero han salido muchas novedades, especialmente de Broad Limited, de Cato, y una especial de Rivarossi, a la gente que le gustan las locomotoras de logging o madereras.
Ajá.
am, Vamos a tener un video muy especial sobre esas locomotoras. Así que sí, sí, muy, muy, muy activo, por suerte, en febrero.
Sí, acá parecido. Bueno, realmente nosotros en México, pues a pesar de que tenemos semáforo rojo y todo, parece que no hay restricciones. Digo, la economía sigue caminando, no hay mucho que hacer, cuidarse. Es las recomendaciones que a todo el mundo le damos, ¿no? Realmente hay que seguir cuidándose, estar adelante. No hay más que hacer, sino
No,
pues cuidarse. Entonces,
opino.
realmente o sea, hay que estar adelante y pues bueno, el día de hoy trataremos un poquito de olvidarnos de todo eso y platicar. Un poquito la introducción. ¿Quién es nuestro invitado de hoy? De hecho, por ahí cuando publicamos, pusimos la pregunta, ¿quién es John? John Abatecola. Eh, y platicando con John, me decía, le mandamos unas preguntas y le dije, oye, necesito una foto tuya para poner. Me dice, no, es que yo no soy una celebridad. Yo, yo creo que los que estamos en el ferromodelismo y más o menos conocemos que, no sé, por ejemplo, a Ken Patterson, a Mike Body, a, no sé, a Shane de Scale Train, a George Bogota de Soundtracks, para nosotros, pues más o menos sí son celebridades en el sentido de que están a la vanguardia, están haciendo muchas cosas y no solo comparten videos de trenes como tal, comparten, layouts, maquetas y todo un, no sé, extenso conocimiento. Entonces, para
Sí,
nosotros
yo creo
dentro del
que
medio, creo que sí se pueden llamar celebridades.
sí, están como a la vanguardia, están como un paso adelante y son los que van marcando el camino para la gente que el segundo nivel que seríamos nosotros o los más amateurs al respecto, nos van
Sí,
mostrando un camino y bueno, van habiendo las novedades y marcan tendencias. En, en el mundo moderno de hoy serían como los youtubers para las generaciones más jóvenes, ¿no? Son
sí,
influencers, llamarlos así, influencers, esa es la
exacto.
palabra.
Y no nos adelantamos, pero hace ratos platicábamos de un tema de la evolución del ferromodelismo, hacia dónde vamos y la tecnología. Y estas personas están a la vanguardia con videos, con muchas cosas, y la verdad queremos compartirlos. Sabemos que luego se complica el idioma. Como siempre, bueno, John
Mm.
habla inglés, vamos a tratar de traducir lo mejor posible y quien tenga preguntas, dudas, las puede dejar en el chat, lo que sea, y las vamos a compartir. Eh, en su canal creo que tiene como 10 años. Por
Mm.
aquí tenía mis notas. Y cuando por ahí puse un link para los que quisieran ver qué ha hecho John. Y él empezó como con mucha gente, lo que le llaman el rail fanning, o sea, nada más grabando videos y los ponía y empezó a evolucionar. De repente empezó a hacer reviews, reseñas, abriendo. Últimamente he visto que tiene podcast también, entrevista a muchas personas y bueno, toda una gama. Pero bueno, no me adelanto. No sé si quieras comentar algo más, Martín, para ya dar
No, no,
de entrada a
yo
nuestro
creo
amigo John.
que tenemos que aprovechar el tiempo lo mejor posible y creo que es una buena oportunidad a la gente que está mirando en vivo para hacer preguntas. Realmente tienen la posibilidad de a través de nosotros preguntarle a John lo que quieran y bueno, aprovechen esta oportunidad porque es una, digamos, del año 2022 va a ser una de las mejores entrevistas seguro.
Perfecto. Le voy a dar la entrada a John. Si quieres tú pregúntale, ya le dimos una breve introducción a todo el mundo en español. Si quieres tú coméntale en inglés, que nos platique un poco en sus palabras, quién es John Abatecola.
Correcto.
And hola.
Muchas gracias. Creo que eres la primera. You are the first one who said hola, something in Spanish.
Really? Yeah.
Gracias.
Well, that's about the extent of my Spanish. Lo siento. No, here, let me tell you what it is. Lo siento, no hablo español.
Muy bien.
That's
Very
all
good.
I got.
Very good.
Te has ganado el corazón de muchos. Gracias con eso. Thank you very much.
Can I say though, I've always wanted to be bilingual, and I really wanted to know how to understand Spanish while you guys were talking about me. I wanted to know what you were.
Puras cosas buenas. Only good things we said about you.
See, that makes me even more curious now.
Well, the good thing with the technology we have these days, John, you can run the video after, and yeah, you can translate on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
I'd like to get the link from you also when we're done so that I can share it on my social media. That would be nice.
Of course.
Of course.
So good afternoon. It's afternoon where I am. So
yeah, in Australia it's good morning or good evening.
No, we passed 12 midday, so Saturday 12:06 at this moment. So yeah, it's noon as they call here. It's not afternoon, it's the noon, just 12 noon.
Okay. John, dimos una introducción de quién eres. En tus palabras, compártenos, ¿quién eres John? ¿Le traduces tú, Martín?
Sí, yes. John, just the first question is very basic and sounds kind of aggressive, but who are you, John? Just basically.
I'm just some guy from the United States who understands how to use a video camera, and I enjoy finding very interesting things for people to share with people. And luckily, over the course of the past 20 years or 15 years, something like that, I've been able to develop relationships with people here who have the things that are fun and interesting to share. So that's basically what I do. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
Of course.
Algo importante que comentó John, dice tiene 15, 20 años y lo que él dijo es soy una persona de Estados Unidos normal que sabe manejar la cámara y comparte. Hace rato decíamos, sus primeros videos eran trenes y luego llegó una evolución. Entonces, es algo importante. Alguien que a lo mejor no era totalmente nacido de trenes, sino alguien que maneja la cámara, pues bueno, encontró una afinidad en los trenes y ahora nos comparte un gran canal para todos los que lo quieran ver. Y esto pues, nos lleva a preguntarle, ¿cómo surgió la idea de TSG Multimedia y cómo ha sido esa evolución en sus palabras? Digo, porque la hemos visto nosotros, los que seguimos su canal, de cómo ha cambiado sus videos. Entonces, Martín, si le preguntas, hablando de la cámara, ¿cómo se le ocurre crear su canal TSG Multimedia?
Okay. John, you just mentioned like you're a guy with a camera. In our humble opinion, you are very good with the camera, and what you do is fantastic. So you created a platform, TSG Multimedia, and yeah, we would like to know and share with the people that are watching at the moment what is TSG Multimedia, how it started, the evolution, and what it is at the moment, please.
Okay, well, I'll try to do it in sections so that you can do the translation and it won't be 100 things to say. So
okay.
In the 1980s, the mid 1980s, I bought my first VHS camera, and I found that I really enjoyed making videos. Is that enough, Eduardo? Do you want me to pause, or do you want me to keep going?
No, just keep going, maybe a little more, and then we translate.
Okay, let me know when you've got enough to remember. So I'm trying to make a long story short here. I think that the easiest way to say it is in 1998, I got, pro equipment, and because I knew I liked doing it. and I decided to start doing it professionally. And I quit my job at the time, and I worked professionally doing weddings and corporate videos, that kind of thing, birthday parties, just whatever anybody would pay to have a video of, I would do it professionally and get paid for it. And then around 2005, someone who was a friend at the time suggested that I should do videos about trains. Or it was 2004 when that happened. And the result of that was the first video that I came out with, Caltrain 2005. A lot of people don't realize, a lot of YouTube people who know me from YouTube don't realize that I have 30 such videos.
30?
Different titles. Yeah, different titles about prototype trains, model trains, and just other, train-related stuff that's on DVD or Blu-ray. We also did Blu-ray at some point.
John, I think that it's time to translate. Si me falta algo, me avisas, Martín.
Sí, dale, yo te completo.
Empezó en el 98. Una persona apasionada por la cámara. De hecho, me comentó que salió de su trabajo y puso su propia empresa para bodas, eventos, cualquier cosa que necesitaran, donde un fotógrafo, un camarógrafo, y hacer videos. Después, aproximadamente, primero dijo 2005, pero corrigió, 2004. Alguien le sugirió que debería empezar a hacer videos de trenes. Y enseñó su primer video, Caltrain, que fue el primer video que hizo, pero al final está comentando que al día de hoy tiene más de 30 videos que editaron ellos de diferentes, pues bueno, trenes y cosas. Entonces ahí le dije que, bueno, creo que es momento de traducir un poco. Entonces, esto es muy importante para todos aquellos que quieran un poco estaba diciendo, de ver trenes prototípicos y personas que no pueden estar de cerca en Estados Unidos, buscar los videos de John, creo que es una buena idea.
Okay, perfecto. No te faltó nada.
Okay, John, sorry. You were
Okay.
that you have like 30 videos, a little more?
Yeah, there's actually 30 titles. If you go to www.tsgmultimedia.com and click on the shop icon, there's DVDs or Blu-rays or digital downloads, and every title is available in all three formats. There are some, there are some additional titles available as digital downloads that are not my productions. They're a friend of mine, Mike Armstrong. Everybody on YouTube knows him as Coaster Fan 2105.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, Mike, since I'm mentioning him, he filmed this entire video. He did all the recording for the TSG Multimedia release of Coaster San Diego to. Sorry, it's glaring. My TV is glaring. He did all the video shooting for this video because he's a big Coaster fan, and was his home rails, if you will, was in San Diego at the time. And I remember. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. John, where is home for you? That's where you live at the moment.
I'm in San Jose, California.
San Jose. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the Bay Area, near San Francisco.
Oh, great place.
Yeah, California is a very big state, and I tell people I'm in California, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to be in Los Angeles next weekend. Maybe we should get together." It's like, no, that's 6 hours away.
No, but well, I think the people say Frisco. Is that correct? They live near Frisco, San Francisco.
Yeah, people that aren't from this area say that. People from this area just call it the city.
The city.
So, yeah, it's the city.
That nice. Well, I've been there a few times. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I love all the places near the bay.
I really like the Bay Area. I've been here since 1986, and I can't really imagine living anywhere else. I'm not really from here originally, but I've been here more than half my life, so I consider it home.
That's good. That's good. Just I want to interrupt 1 second. A friend just came in the channel, Human City Junction. He's a good friend. I've been following videos. I think John too. You know him. So I want to say hello to him.
Yeah, I saw Heath come in. Hello, model citizens. He's not talking to
Yes.
me.
Yeah. Well, to everyone, we are model citizens. Yes, we are. We are only one word. Yeah,
Okay,
no, that's
well,
good.
eh, eh, you said that in 2004 you start with trains and you have all these DVDs, Blu-ray, and different formats. But then we saw that in your channel you have an evolution. You have like reviews, like layouts, and lately you have podcasts and you have many interviews. Uh,
Mhm.
what happened in your mind when you make all these changes, or you plan this, or this is just lucky, or how was this evolution for you?
Yeah. So what happened there was
Sorry, let me translate in Spanish the question.
sure.
Perdón, le acabo de preguntar de que ya después del 2005 que empezó a hacer videos y varias cosas en formatos, en su canal él empieza a hacer reseñas, empieza a hacer el tours, layout, varios eh, entrevistas y últimamente podcasts con otras personas. Le comentaba, ¿qué le llevó a esto? O sea, ¿lo pensó? ¿Fue suerte? ¿Cómo diseñó empezar simplemente con un video de formatos, ahora ser, pues bueno, una de las personas representantes del ferromodelismo? Ok, John.
Okay, so the answer to that is well, I was just talking about him a moment ago. My friend Mike Armstrong
Mm.
suddenly in 2012 or 2013, I don't remember the exact timeline. I don't have it written down. Let me back up for just 1 second. So when I did all these videos, I wanted to put the trailers somewhere so that we could link the trailers to the website. And YouTube was a great place for that because it's a video hosting service, right? And it was free. So if you go to YouTube, if you go to my website and you
Yeah.
click on one of these titles, like you want to buy it, they are still to this day linked to the trailers that I uploaded, trailers, teasers, whatever you call them, on YouTube. They're still linked up to that. So I was using YouTube just as a place to host videos that I could then refer back to from my website because it was free. Then,
Yeah.
right? Then we did this video and I met Mike and he's had his own channel and suddenly he got a viral hit. It was called Steam Trains Galore. And this video propelled his channel and he got so many subscribers and he was actually making money on YouTube. Okay, which it opened my eyes because I did not realize that you could make that kind of money on YouTube. So
We're
sometime
still
around
looking for that, eh? Martina and I, we're
I'm
still looking for that.
right. Well, I'm still looking for that too. And we get there. It just takes time, right? But and part of that also is making good content. So hopefully
Yes.
hopefully having me on your channel won't hurt your chances to get more viewers.
No.
But
Never.
what ended up happening was Mike opened my eyes when his channel got this viral success. And I started thinking, because at that time, DVDs were not selling a lot. When we first started in the mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, 2007, we were selling a lot of DVDs. And in the US, we had a big crash of our economy around 2007, 2008, where people had no extra money, right? So people stopped buying stuff like train DVDs. And so the DVD sales really dropped off. And I saw YouTube at that point in 2010 or 12, whatever, as a way to, to make some money. So in 2000, I have to back up again. In 2005, it was just slow. The video production was slow. And I took a sales job at a retail company. And so I was working in 2005 to 2015, I was working a regular full-time job. So doing these videos, it was kind of funny. I bought a laptop and I edited all of these videos at work. in between customers. So I was trying to make the most of my time there. Anyway, so when I realized you could make, and then YouTube to me at the time was kind of like, my attitude about YouTube was it's free, so I don't concentrate on the quality. I just concentrate on trying to get some social media, something out there so that people can go, oh, well, what is this? And sorry, there's a lot to the story that I'm leaving out, and I don't know what to include and what to exclude.
No, that's okay.
So anyway, so in 2015, I finally decided I had had enough of the sales job that I was in, and I quit. It was a very difficult decision because it was, that was my main source of income. And YouTube even now is not, paying all the bills. It pays a little, some of the bills, and in some months it does okay, but most of the year it does not. It doesn't even pay for half the mortgage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Si quieres,
totally makes sense.
Traduces un poquito, Martín.
Sí.
These are all the trailers right there.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Well, you have, like I say, some. I will translate and then I will add my comments to this. Lo que John nos explica que entre muchas idas y vueltas, o sea, para resumirlo, él encontró que YouTube era la plataforma donde él podría monetizar, recibir algún ingreso por los videos, porque como todos saben, en el 2008 hubo una crisis mundial, no solamente fue en los Estados Unidos, económica, y la gente dejó de gastar plata en cosas superfluas como modelismo, videos o DVDs. Eso lo empujó a John a volver al mercado laboral y trabajar para una tienda como manager, y bueno, pero no era lo que le gustaba. Así que en 2015 él decidió volver a intentar a través de YouTube. Él también nos contó que él tiene su amigo Mike, que es el que más le abrió los ojos sobre YouTube, siguiendo los videos de Mike, uno que se llamó Vaporeras Galore, sería la traducción. Galore, no sé cuál es la traducción en español. Como el show de las vaporeras sería. Y a partir de ahí donde John, encontró, digamos, el camino a través de YouTube. Déjame, Eduardo, le voy a preguntar, le voy a hacer un link con lo que él hace el mundo moderno y COVID al mismo tiempo, porque creo que estamos para cerrar la evolución.
Me parece bien.
John, I'm one of the persons in the world, I believe like media is changing, like I don't believe it's changing, obviously, leaving TV, radio, to be all internet, online, TikTok, or all the stuff. Like I say, it's happening. Yeah. And your content is perfect for, I believe, for the new world, for the new generations. I'm a person, when I go, like I said yesterday, this is what happened yesterday, I went with my dog for a walk, and I put just YouTube, and I listened your interview with Michelle about operations. So I think it was around 2 hours. And I listened the whole video, walking, I say, and I continue walking. And this is the way, like, the new world is adapting. So it's not only watching, it's listen to videos or podcasts. And in my opinion, is COVID did an acceleration of all this process. And I think you are spot on in the right time with the right product for people in modeling. So what's your opinion? You agree with this?
I do. I think you're very accurate, Martin, and thank you for listening to the show. I think that we're definitely moving away from what I call portable media. That's this. You take this with you, right? Streaming is absolutely the wave of the future. And frankly, I stopped making DVDs and only make them now if someone special orders it, because I still have the equipment to make them. And but streaming is absolutely the way to go. As a matter of fact, we were able to get all of the titles on the website onto digital downloads. That was probably 5 years ago or more, because I saw that no one was buying DVDs or Blu-rays anymore. I mean, not no one. I mean, some people are buying them. I fill orders, a couple orders a month, but it's nothing like what it would have been 15 or 20 years ago. So I think you have, you make a good observation.
It's the same with, for example, magazines.
Yep.
In the old days, if you want something about model railroad, you go and find a magazine or subscribe to something in paper.
Right.
And today you just need to look into YouTube or internet, and you find everything free. And that's a new market. It's a difference.
Here's something that you can translate for the viewers. One of the challenges, I think, of having everything for free is that a lot of what you can find is not that good. So you really have to figure out which one is worth spending your time on, because
that's important, really important.
So for one of the reasons, and this actually goes into, I started to talk about how YouTube originally was just a place to put my trailers, and I wasn't concerned about the quality of the other stuff because I was hoping people would buy portable media. That's what I was selling. Well, when I realized that YouTube could be a vehicle to earn money, I changed that. And it was around 2015 when I got really serious, because I quit that job that I had and decided, I'm going to make a go at this YouTube thing. And the quality around 2015 to 2017 improved a lot, because I was much more focused on quality, because I can see that streaming is where things are going, like Martin said a moment ago. And, since then, I think, whether it's justified or not, I've sort of built a reputation for having high quality content. And it's only, I'm lucky that I know how to use the camera and I know how to use Final Cut Pro. And I've been learning a lot about the
John, something else I need to add on that. It's not only the quality, because you can have the best camera, you can do the best videos, but you have something not many people or YouTubers they have. Like, you have a network of people, they know you and for example, that video you create about the caboose of Union Pacific, they restoring. That's unique. To find that is unique. And that's what the people want to watch. Let's say I can put the best camera running my layout locomotive I bought from, but who cares, really? Just like, how many of those ones are around? But to find a person who is restoring one of the first caboose from the Union Pacific, that's amazing. So I say quality plus network plus, and being a good person with clear in your head, like you said yesterday in your podcast. Is sharing with buddies. Okay, we're doing this sharing with buddies because we want to share this moment with other people. So you have clear. So you see, it's a lot of components, and that's what your channel is so good for many people.
Let me translate that, because it's important. It's important.
Yeah.
John comentó algo. Estábamos diciendo que hay una evolución, que antes tú tenías que comprar revistas, buscar DVDs, videos, y pues era más complicado. Actualmente, con la pandemia y todo lo que ha pasado, pues te metes a YouTube o buscas internet y encuentras prácticamente todo el material gratis, pero hay algo muy importante que creo que no lo habíamos comentado como tal. No todo el material es de calidad.
Correcto.
Desgraciadamente, en México tenemos una expresión que es: cualquier hijo de vecino toma su celular y hace un video y ya es youtuber. Pero hay que aunar que, no solamente necesitas calidad, no solamente estamos hablando de las cámaras y un buen micrófono y sonido, sino grabar cosas que realmente aporten al hobby. Y Martín hizo un comentario. John hizo un video de una actualización de un caboose de Union Pacific, y prácticamente creo que es el único en la red que ha hecho eso. Entonces, eso es algo importante que creo que de ahora en adelante vamos a decir: está YouTube, está todo, busquen, pero no se queden con el primer video que vean. Es decir, a lo mejor yo puse un video hace poco, uno de grafitis, pero yo le dije: ¿saben qué? Yo no soy experto en grafitis. Esta es una forma de hacer. Si les gusta algo, tómenlo. Pero vean más. Vean todos los videos de cómo hacer un graffiti, y al final ustedes toman la decisión. Creo que eso es algo muy importante que yo no estaba platicando. Entonces, cerrando un poco el punto, sí es gratis, pero hay que fijarse en dos cosas, como dice Martín: calidad de la imagen y del video, pero calidad de lo que estás mostrando.
Exacto.
El trabajo.
trabajo.
Oye,
el mensaje también.
perdón,
Y el
es que,
mensaje también.
y el mensaje, obviamente. Nos saltamos la pregunta, no hemos preguntado su esquema favorito, si quieres.
La pregunta de rigor.
Sí,
Okay.
si quieres.
Le digo yo.
Sí.
John, now it's coming, just getting a little away from where we were talking, but this is a question you need to be 100% honest. It's super important, and this is where everything goes. So very easy. What is your favorite railway? Like I say, it could be, I don't know, Union Pacific, for example. Favorite locomotive could be the big boy. Just what it is, we would like to know from you. And this is very important. No pressure.
Yeah, no, I hope you're not terribly disappointed, Martin, when I tell you I don't have a favorite. I really don't.
That's good.
Okay,
That's right.
I really don't. Now,
That's right.
I will say that I like a good story. So I don't care if it's Union Pacific or Southern Pacific or Western Pacific or Santa Fe, or you'll notice I'm using all of the railroads that are on the west side of the United States, because those are the ones really that I know.
Amtrak,
right? BNSF, Amtrak, whatever. Yeah. All of the ones that you've seen mostly on my channel, right? Because I don't really go to the East Coast, so it doesn't really matter to me, and I like all different stuff. If it has flanged wheels and there's a good story to tell, that's all that matters to me. So I mean,
that's great.
Does that make sense? I mean, I don't really.
Yes,
have,
of course.
Me, yeah, this might ruffle some people's feathers or break someone's heart. To me, having one favorite of something is like it's something for kids. That's what kids do. That's what children do. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be passionate about your favorite railroad and you want to model that, but if you're just trying to tell stories and if you're being interested in telling stories that other people want to share, you can't have one favorite, because it really limits the scope of what you will focus on.
Perfect.
Does that make sense? So
yeah, totally sense. And that's what we want. That's what we want to hear. This is a provocation of things.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the honest answer. I mean, if I want to hear only about Union Pacific, I'm not going to have. I mean, there's plenty of stories, but I don't know all the Union Pacific guys. If I want to hear about Union Pacific, Southern Pacific, BNSF, Yosemite Valley, which is another big series on the channel, Model Railroading with Jack Burgess.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another topic.
If I'm only interested in Union Pacific, I never would have talked to Jack Burgess, right? And that's a big opportunity lost because we're friends now. So.
Yeah, no. And before we translate this, John, that's the reason of the question. Like, we say, and Eduardo, I think, shares the same. In my case, okay, I'm UP fan, but in my layout, I run whatever. You can see the French train locomotive or a German or doesn't matter. It's just I think it's very Latin American kind of culture, passion, close to soccer, where you're a fan for something. But I watch all the videos, of course. And that's the thing, and that's the honesty we want, and that's good. That's perfect. You're a very smart person. I like it.
Well, hey, you need to translate that part real fast. Let them know how smart I am.
Yeah.
Inteligente.
Sí.
Inteligente. Very good.
Muy bueno. Una muy buena respuesta que nos dio John. Él prácticamente dice que no está enganchado con una sola línea. O sea, le puede gustar Union Pacific, BNSF, cualquiera. A él lo que le gusta es contar historias. Si una historia lo vale, él la cuenta. Él habló mucho de la parte de California, de ese lado de la costa de Estados Unidos, porque es donde vive, pero dice que él considera que es disfrutar y sobre todo la historia. Entonces no se casa con una solo esquema. Dice que respeta. Desde su punto de vista, pues tú puedes ser un fan de Union Pacific, Ferromex, Nacionales de México, lo que quieras, pero al final de cuentas, él abre el abanico a pues, lo que sea. Y al final Martín un poco cerraba de, pues bueno, él es fan de Union Pacific, pero en su layout, pues ves de todo, ves una europea, ves una de vapor, una chiquita, o sea, lo que hemos tratado un poco es disfrutar el hobby
Correcto.
con todo.
Diversidad. Diversidad.
Diversidad,
Esa,
esa
esa es
sería
la
la
palabra.
palabra, diversidad.
Y perfecta en este momento de la humanidad. Diversidad es la palabra correcta. O sea, acá
Sí,
no hay nada. Uno bromea y yo hago con esto con Eduardo siempre, Digitrax, es para bromear. O sea, realmente, cuanto más abierto sos, más oportunidades tenés y más gente conoces y más compartís. Y creo que, como siempre decimos, el objetivo del hobby es compartir.
así es, así es. Y por ahí también el amigo Rubén nos comenta de Amtrak. Sí, Amtrak también lo mencionamos. O sea, prácticamente todo cabe. O sea, realmente es modelar para todos. Y pues, en su canal lo ven, van a ver videos un poquito de todo. Y ahorita, Martín está viendo un poquito la hora y me gustaría hacer el link de que a John le gusta un poco de todo, pero queríamos platicar un
Sí.
poco de cómo ha visto esta evolución, pues desde el 98 a la fecha o antes.
Ujú.
Antes, pues tenías tu óvalo y para adelante, para atrás tu trenecito y es todo. Y al día de hoy tenemos Wi-Fi, laptop,
Sí,
lo manejas por iPad, le sale humo, le sale sonidos, le grabas, le
sí,
bajas y todo. Entonces, ¿dónde vamos a parar? No sabemos. Entonces, un poco
ok.
la perspectiva, ¿no? de John sobre todo esto.
Sí, sí. John, thank you again for the last, what you say, like we just translate and yeah, 100% we agree with you. So, um, moving from that question, now the evolution of the hobby, okay? You are like us, people like we, playing with train from, I guess, from the 80s or maybe just before, and 90s to 2000. So the evolution of the hobby, the new technologies in the hobby. You are a person who is very lucky to see the best layouts in the world. I would like one day to have a chat with Michelle too in this channel because she runs one of the best layouts. I love the club she's running. So in your opinion, please tell us or what you think about the evolution. Good things, bad things. Feel free
Yeah.
to
Well,
yeah to
when I was a little kid, I had the electric train set. As a matter of fact, my parents in 1977 or maybe 1976, somewhere around there, brought 2 electric train sets back from Italy. I'm Italian. Okay. You probably, actually, Martin, you probably know that because I know from people from Argentina, there's a lot of Italians. So you probably recognize my name as Italiano, right?
yeah Italiano. Lima, by any chance? We going to Lima?
Por Rivaro, sí.
No. But in Italy, my parents bought or were given train sets, and I played with those as a little kid. And then at some point, because the Italian trains don't look like American trains, I never saw an Italian train in person. So I eventually talked them into buying a Tyco electric train set. I don't know if you guys know Tyco.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Okay. It was less expensive in the Sears catalog than Bachmann.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to say that.
That's really 80s.
Yeah. So then I got a train set that looked more like what I was accustomed to seeing. But to be honest, DC to me is kind of, for operations, is kind of boring. I mean, go, stop. There's no horn, there's no bell, there's no sound, there's nothing. And my perception is that in the early 90s, I really think that DCC was pushed and brought to the forefront by people who wanted to operate realistically. Because when you have a DC layout, it's broken up into blocks, control blocks, right? Because you can't have more than one train in DC. You can't have more than one train on the same block, or else only one person can control it, right?
Right.
So what people wanted to do in the late 80s, early 90s was have control of more than one train in the same block so that they could operate the train and not operate the layout. This is the way it's been described to me, and it makes a lot of sense. You want to operate your train. You don't want to operate your layout, turning stuff on and off to get to certain places or handing off a control of the train to somebody else because they have the throttle for that block. That's not fun. That's not what real railroaders do. They're in a locomotive until they're done with their shift. And frankly, one block is not a shift. So, right? So they came up with DCC, which I think for operators is a great thing. If all you want to do is watch it go around and around and around, then DC is fine. You don't have to, you don't really have to do anything. You just turn the knob and make it go. So,
I always say the difference, to add, is like DC is controlling the track. DCC is controlling the locomotive, basically. So I make it simple like that.
And people don't want to control the layout. They don't want to control the track. They want to control the train. That's exactly. So I think that the, I guess, invention or the standardization of DCC by the NMRA, which is very, very important. If the NMRA did not standardize DCC, I don't think it would have gained the same kind of popularity that it has now. But if that hadn't happened, or let's just say that because it did happen, it opened up a whole different way of operating where people could really simulate the jobs of a railroad. And now we have entire operating sessions, which you mentioned before. It was something that we just talked about on TSG Live, Talking Trains with Michelle a couple days ago. I think it's really important for operations to have that individual control of a locomotive instead of controlling the track. So I think that answers the question.
Yeah, let me translate that.
Yep.
Yes.
La parte que John nos comenta de entre DC y DCC, voy a empezar un poquito de lo último que comentó Martín y John. Prácticamente con DCC tú puedes manejar la máquina, no te la pasas manejando las vías o la maqueta. Cuando tienes DC solito, pues nada más da vueltas y vueltas. Si quieres enfocarte a lo que es operaciones, que vamos a tener, yo creo, una plática con nuestro amigo Joe, que no es Joe, es Kernet, el que platicamos la vez pasada también con el Chapo, que nos platica un poco de qué es operaciones. Para aquellos que no están familiarizados con la palabra, operaciones pues es prácticamente llevar a tu maqueta la realidad de cómo se maneja un tren, carros cargados, lo mueves, turnos, el silbato y todo eso. Y eso solamente se puede hacer con DCC. En un mismo bloque puedes tener 3, 4 trenes al mismo tiempo, que antes con DC, pues no, tenías un bloque y solo tenías una sola máquina. Entonces, mucho el resumen que dice John y Martín platica un poco es, DCC te lleva a manejar la máquina y no estar manejando una maqueta. Para aquellos que han tenido oportunidad de ver maquetas grandes no, la palabra antigua a lo mejor no es muy bien usada, pero de puro DC, pues tienes switch por todos lados, le subes, le bajas y te la pasas moviendo la maqueta y no manejas el tren. Entonces, eso es algo importante que DCC nos ha llevado y mencionó, ¿no? Por ahí que la NMRA
las normas
ayudó
de la
mucho.
NMRA. Sí, porque si no tenés el clásico, como pasó con MTH y DCC ante DCS.
DCS.
O sea, eso podría haber pasado.
Is he doing a good job, Martin? I can't tell.
yeah, he's doing a very good job. Now, just saying, like I say, one of the points we highlighted is, like I say, the participation of the NMRA in this, because as an example, could happen like with MTH and DCC, with DCS and DCC. So without the regulations, we could have so many systems, like could be a disaster. Like I say. So that's excellent.
It would be a disaster if you did not have standardization, and I think I'm glad that MTH put DCS out so everybody could really see what you're talking about.
Like I said, I love the models, but
not the decoder.
I say the DCS, like I say, was so hard and say to make it compatible, but
I have a pro tip for you. When you buy MTH,
DCC ready.
They're kind of out of business.
Yeah.
But
they are.
But if the new MTH that I think is going to be done by Scale Trains, if they use DCS, buy the one that's DC and put a proper decoder in it.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is? I think at the moment I should have around 50 MTH locomotives in my train room, and I love the smoke. I love it. They have the best smoke in the world.
Yeah, well,
nobody can disagree.
That's true. That's true. I compare with Atron and Bagman and others. MTH has the best smoke.
Oh,
yeah. We talk about that. We talk about that with Shane, and we said you need to keep the smoke. The smoke is great for MTH.
Yeah. Are you talking about when the decoder doesn't work, it smokes, or you?
No, that kind of smoke. That's a different kind of smoke. The one you want to create.
Oh, okay.
Not the other one. It was an accident.
Let me translate, because this is really, really funny, and many people need to understand this. Nos estamos riendo un poco de MTH en el sentido bueno de que la calidad de los productos de la máquina es perfecta, pero siempre hubo un poco quejas de que ellos tenían su sistema DCS y que no era totalmente compatible con NMRA. Por eso varios amigos cuando me preguntan qué hago con MTH, dos cosas. Una, quítale el decoder si puedes, o si todavía vas a comprar una MTH de las viejitas, cómprala DCS Ready y ponle tu propio motor, tu propio decoder, perdón. Pero al final decíamos que lo bueno de las MTH es que tienen muy buena calidad de humo, pero nosotros nos referíamos al del vapor, todo eso. Y John dice humo de cuando se queman, porque tengo varios amigos que se les han quemado sus decoders y ya no sirven, o el humo. Pero bueno, un poquito
I agree to disagree on that one, Eduardo. No es tan así. Eso me parece que es más una fábula. Te soy sincero, operaciones con MTH, si usas MTH juntas no tienes ningún problema. Si empezás a combinar, ahí se te complica, pero a mí nunca se me quemó una. Más o menos 10 años o 15 años de MTH y nunca se me quemó una. O sea, no sé, me parece medio que... Es como Tesla, ¿viste? Que lo empujan a Tesla, dicen Tesla se prende fuego. Yo no sé. John, we having fun because I say to disagree, like MTH, I like them. I'm honest, and I never had a problem. I know people they say that, and I say like it's like Tesla. They always say they burn the electric cars. They burn, they crash all the time.
The batteries.
I don't think it's so true. So we're talking about.
I'm only picking on them because a lot of people have had problems with the DCS thing.
Yeah. Many people.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can tell you though that I have known people who model in O scale, 2-rail O, not O gauge, not toy trains, but realistic 2-rail O, and they use MTH DCS, and they swear that it's great. And I tell them, well, maybe for O scale it's really good, but a lot of people in the other scale that MTH was HO, they don't like it as much. They would rather have an NMRA standard DCC decoder so that it works the way they expect it to more times than the MTH one does. We'll put it that way.
And look, John, this is happened with all the brands. Like in my channel, I receive comment every time I put a Broadway Limited. You have the love and the hate, and I always say, I reply to them. I thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching the video, and thank you for sharing. What you think. That's fun.
It's the same with every brand, but John, do you have a favorite brand? You like Atron, Broadway, or is the same like in real life? If there's a good quality, you like the engine.
Yeah, if it's good quality, I like it. One thing I will say about Broadway Limited is that I really enjoyed their presentation, and what I mean by that is when you get the box, and you open up the box, almost every time it's like, wow, this is nice. So I think that Rapido has a similar experience to me. You open up the box and you're like, wow, this is really nice. I'm not saying that I would put Broadway Limited on the same level of quality or anything else as Rapido. I think Rapido is absolutely among the best. Like, they have really pushed people to become much better than they were before. I think Scale Trains also has pushed people to be a lot more detailed, than they were before. And I think that Athearn has really stepped up their game with their Genesis to be as good as the scale, detail wise, as far as, and Atlas too has put out a lot more nicely detailed models.
Yeah.
I don't think Kato, people call it Kato, it's Kato, but I don't think that they've really made a big effort to get more detailed. But you don't buy Kato for detail. You buy Kato because it runs forever and it runs perfectly. So there are different things, different reasons for wanting different brands. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as long as it runs properly and it does what I want it to do, meaning it goes when I want it to go, it makes the sounds that I want it to make, and it's fun to use, that's a winner to me.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because if it doesn't work, it's not fun. And if it's not fun, why do it? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
In Mexico, we have a discussion about the capacity of how many cars this engine can pull together. But I always say, okay, in Mexico, we don't have big layouts like in the United States or Europe or other places. If you are lucky, you have your layout in the house 8x4, and you can only run like 10 cars. That's it. So it's not important how many cars can this engine move, because there are no big layouts in Mexico. That's kind of rule. But well,
that's the passion they put always in Latin America, and that's the problem. We go into those silly details like really nobody cares, like only us. In a way.
But you say something true, John. If my engine works for me, that's fine. If I want a Kato and it works perfect, okay. If I want details, I have Scale Train, Genesis, Broadway, but it works for you, so that's good enough. Don't try to buy something to please everybody.
Right. Don't buy your train for me unless you're going to give it to me. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that means like some brands, and this is good to have so many brands because they want to find their specialty. Kato for me is the best locomotive in N scale. There's no doubt about it. I don't run any. Let's say I love the Broadway Limited in N scale, but they are a disaster, especially the Paragon 3. And we have the discussion with Ken Silvestri, and I say to him, like, I love the details, but I like the locomotives to run, not to watch it on the wall, sitting there. And then now they have this new Paragon 4, like it's changing. I test a few of them and they're working good. But Kato still, like I know if I need to run a session, I put all Kato in N scale, no doubt, you know. And you need to find where is your place or what you want to achieve, let's say, with that locomotive, and then you choose. Free word.
Pero, algo importante que voy a decir en español. Ahorita hemos hablado de marcas americanas, prácticamente gran calidad, porque es lo que dominamos de este lado. Yo a veces me dedico a arreglar algunas máquinas y lo hago por gusto. Realmente no es negocio, de esto no se vive, es por gusto. Y me ha tocado arreglar máquinas europeas. No me gustan mucho físicamente, pero la calidad de las máquinas europeas merecen un programa aparte, que por ahí tenemos un amigo de España pendiente.
Tengo que conseguir a alguien de ese.
Trix, Marklin,
Marklin,
Rocco, Rivarosi, o sea, Marklin, la calidad es increíble, supera a Rapido y a Broadway y a todas juntas, la verdad. Trix y Marklin son las mejores, pero eso es en otro programa. Y nada más déjame decirle a John de lo que comentamos. John, I just said that we were talking about American brands, just to say that Broadway, well, Rapido from Canada, but we're talking about this side of the world. But let's not forget about Europe. Let's talk about Marklin, Trix, and Rocco. They have an amazing quality. I'm looking for a special set that Trix made from the Orion Express train. It's kind of amazing, but I still can't find because it's out of stock. But the quality, the details, and the decoders, I think they mostly use ESU decoders in Europe. And we're talking that we need to make a special program about Europe because the quality is really good.
Yeah,
you know,
and that, sorry.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, Eduardo, because my understanding is that the European market, the people are far more choosy. I don't know how else to say that. They're very particular.
What is choosy? Sorry.
Particular.
Picky, like, picky.
Oh yeah, I know.
and they want stuff that is good technically. And I've heard that, for example, people in USA, Bachman's kind of like, sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
Usually it's not that great. If a person comes on, I spend a lot of time on social media in the train groups, and I see people a lot of times come on. They say, "Oh, I'm new. What train set should I get?" I saw this Bachman train set, and everybody responding to this person says, no, don't get Bachman because you want it to be fun and it won't work. And they give you all this very bad news. But my understanding is that Bachman in Europe is
It is
really, really good.
Yeah,
Right?
I think they have different quality. We haven't spoke with someone in Bagman, but I believe they have different quality. They have different models, and I have a Bagman. I have a Canadian National Bagman. It's great. That's it. But it worked fine. But when I saw European videos and reviews, they talk about Batman that is one of the best in
Right.
Europe. Right?
Yeah, they have two markets, and the other one, don't forget the Australian model too. How
Oh,
good they're coming, and
yeah,
I good
that's
a
right.
good point for you, John, and Eduardo. Here in Australia, we have one of, I think it's the longest train in the world, the real one. Is the iron ore. It goes in Western Australia, and the company is VHP. So they modeled that train in Sydney in a layout, and I think it's around like 600 cars, and they did it with the Broadway limited locomotives. So they used 6 SD70s, I think they were, like this is the real prototype with 600 cars. They model by hand, like I say, because no factory does the special cars. So there is some quality too here, and I think that's a good thing. Like I say, the competition, and because the world now is one, thanks to the internet and the globalization, is making us to have more options, really. So
Well, just to add, I have a few Fleischmann. I believe Fleischmann
Fleischmann,
is in German or Italian. They are from Europe.
German.
Probably
Fleischmann.
German.
Yeah, probably German. Yeah.
Fleischmann.
These Fleischmann are around 80s, and I just made an upgrade with the sound and decoder. I think that I have on a video about that. But my point is this Fleischmann from the 80s, and I choose one of Atron or Atlas from the 80s. The quality is so different. Even the Fleischmann from the 80s is better than most of the engines today. Not the Genesis, not the top line. I'm talking perhaps some. I don't want to say any run, but the point is the quality even from the 80s is excellent. And
Eduardo, the Atlas one, I used to have my switcher SW something, I can't remember exactly now, from Atlas. It was made in Austria, so under the European, in an European factory, and that was a brick. If I put makes a hole in the ground, because heavy, powerful, and it's still running. I just put a decoder, like a good decoder, and it's still running, and it's from the 80s.
I think it's worth mentioning, you mentioned Atlas. That's one company that has very, very good, very consistent quality. Some of the models are a little bit less detailed, but they run really well. I get a lot of Atlas locomotives come across my desk when I'm doing what I call product spotlight, and they're all really good. So, I mean, they're kind of, it seems like people like to talk about scale trains in Athern.
Yeah.
But people don't
they forgot that. Yeah.
People don't talk so much about Rapido, which is a mystery to me. That's, like I said, I'm a big Rapido fan.
I have one reason. The price. The price.
Yeah,
they worked. I know the quality and it's excellent. And I still need one of in my fleet. But I think, for example, for Latinos or Argentinos, Mexico, the price of Rapido is too much. I don't want to talk about the economy, but perhaps $300 DCC sound Rapido is extremely too high for Mexico.
Yeah, I think it's like $339 here.
Yeah. I know.
But if you have a local train shop that you can go to, a local hobby shop, LHS as they call it, you can at least where I live, you can find it for 20% off of that. So, you can find them less. I think you're paying a lot for shipping and customs.
I know that's extra.
Right?
At least that's another topic, but at least $60. And then in Mexico, you need to pay extra tax. So a Rapido direct from Canada is like $400. It's too much.
I'll tell you what, though, Eduardo, if you ever have the option to buy one because you need a particular model that they make, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Yeah, perhaps this year. I have plans for that, and I have a trip maybe in the middle of the year, and I will have gone to this year.
Yeah, Rapido. I have the like I got one last year, the bad car, the diesel car, like amazing, and now they released the steamy car that used to be like smoke, and I think now it's coming with sound. And you say, the quality is great. Sorry, John, just going in Spanish. Eduardo, me encantaría hablar de Jack antes que pues está yendo el tiempo.
Sí.
Me encantaría esa parte.
De hecho, lo que te iba a decir, si quieres traducimos y toca el tema de Jack, sí, porque yo también me quedé con eso.
Dale, traducilo y yo voy con Jack.
De la última parte que estábamos platicando un poco de la calidad, estábamos mencionando mucho de que las marcas europeas, le comenté que incluso yo estoy arreglando unas Fleischmann que las convertí a DCC, y la calidad de una Fleischmann de los 80s le gana a muchas de las marcas actuales, muy buena calidad, y estamos diciendo que, pues bueno, que es importante tenerlas en la mira. John mencionaba que la marca, bueno, en México es Rapido, en inglés Rapido, como lo quieran decir, que es de las mejores, o Rápido, como lo quieran decir. Y en el canal hicimos una reseña de los well cars de Ferromex, unos grises, los mejores que he visto, el peso, los detalles, muy buenos estos well cars de Ferromex, de Rapido. Y estamos mencionando que por qué no hay tanto conocimiento, y le dije que, pues mira, en México es muy sencillo, el precio. Las máquinas Rapido promedian en $300, $40, $50 de shipping y taxis, te salen como en $400, que es una cantidad exorbitante para México. Pero bueno, sabemos que este hobby es un poco de sacrificios, y vemos si en este año se puede adquirir alguna o algo, y se recomienda, ¿no?, a aquellos que puedan comprar una máquina de Rapido, que es canadiense, por lo que nos comenta John, que le ha hecho reseñas y las ha visto y sabe de eso, son de las mejores. Entonces, pues esperemos que en este año tengamos por lo menos una en el programa. Y ahora sí, un poquito ya para la parte final, Martín quiere tocar un tema de una de las personas que es amigo de John, y Martín y yo somos fan, porque él es...
Yes.
Creo que es el padre de los Rivet Counters, podríamos decirle.
Sí, el dios.
Sí, o sea,
el Messi del Rivet Counter.
El Messi del Rivet Counter podríamos hablar, y a todos los que por ahí nos llegan a ver en México, él es el papá de todos los cuentarremaches que existe, pero la calidad de su trabajo es impresionante. Entonces, Martín, adelante, pregúntale.
No le voy a decir eso del River Counter porque me va a tirar con un cascote.
No, de realismo, ya, creo que por ahí se pusieron.
Sentido. John, we would like to go to a point. I think this is my humble opinion again. I don't know if everyone shares. You have something as I call the cream in your channel, the top of the top, and it's the shows you do with Jack Verges. Is how you pronounce his last name? Okay, so to give you an example, my son one day he say, why he's not my grandfather, because he loves his layouts, his work, so he would like to he could be the perfect grandfather for me, he say, my son, so he loved him. And here we have these things some people call it, we're talking in a good way, okay? Like he's like they call the River Counter because the level of he's perfect. Really, he's perfect. He can model anything outside the box. So, how is he? Like I say, he's. I guess to share time with him for a model person, it will be amazing. So, how is he to work with him, to do the shows, to run a train with him? Could tell us, share, because he looks one way on the videos, and I'm sure he's a great person. And yeah, share if you can share about him anything. Would be good.
The cream on the top, John said.
Yeah, Jack is a very kind person. First off, he has a look to him. He looks very intense. I've noticed. Very, I don't know how to.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's way. I don't know how to put it in words yet.
Yeah, but I can tell you there's a couple things I'll say about this. When I go to work with him, he's very, very professional. Very professional. I mean, I show up and he hands me the stuff. He already thought of what he wants to talk about, and he wrote notes he types up notes, right? That he has a whole packet. I have some sitting here just off camera that I would show you if I can reach it. But then the other thing is, actually, let me just reach it, because this will demonstrate what it's like to do videos with him.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, this is going to be very boring for you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We love live action.
Yeah. This will give you an insight into what it's like to work with him on videos. So we have a video coming out. I think it's on the 4th Saturday of this month. And it's all about the Yosemite Valley 330. That's the car that's on these pictures. Okay. Here's some more stuff that we were going to talk about with the pictures. Okay. Here's some more stuff that we're going to talk about. This one doesn't have any pictures, but that's okay, because on the next page, guess what's on the next page?
Pictures.
And that's one car. That's only one car.
There's a diagram here of how he did something.
Yeah.
More pictures. So, and anyways, this is about. This is a total of, I think, 11, 12, 13 pages. Okay.
That's amazing.
14 pages. I'm sorry, I lied. It's 14 pages. Okay. In addition to that, he hands this to me. Guess what this is? This is all the pictures I need for what we're going to talk about when I go to do the edit. Okay. Very organized, very professional. And the really cool thing about working with him is we're friends now. We're friends. I would even say that we're pretty good friends. When I started my Patreon, you know what Patreon is, where people can give like $2 a month or whatever. He was the first one to sign up to help out. And most of the time, we're not talking about this stuff. We're laughing and making jokes, about things and talking about other things that are not even train related. So, and hearing you talk about it earlier, I think that level of comfort with someone comes. I'm trying to think of how to express this. Comes from an attitude on my part that I'm interested in what the person has to say. I'm not interested in getting something from somebody. A relationship with me is not transactional, where you have to give me something or else I'm not interested in you. I really think, guys, because you were talking about, the content's really good, and how do you find a guy that has a caboose in Wyoming? Now that was really handed to me. That was a friend of Michelle Kempema's that had the restoration business in Wyoming. But if I were not interested in that, when she said, I want you to meet this guy, he does this, that, and the other, I was very interested. And it wasn't just that doesn't sound interesting to me. I got to listen and meet Mike Panel is his name. And we got to be friends. And pretty much every person that I go do a layout tour, we become friends. I can call any one of these people that I've done the layout tours, and maybe they're pretending, but they seem to be happy to hear from me.
Yeah, but so, John, that's what you say. Let's say again, you invest time to create that relation and to have that network, because you want, like you say, you want the story about all this, you are interested and you give time, space, and that's it is, and that makes you a person. So it's not the camera, it's all together, and give the space.
Do you know what it is, Martin? Do you know what it is? It's like when we were talking off the air, okay? I would not know that people from Argentina drink the mate unless I got to be friends with the guy that was from Argentina. And I remember because that was important to him. Yeah, and he would bring mate and we would drink it together. I thought it tasted awful, but I would do it because we're friends. I mean, that's what you do with your friends.
I'm subscriber from your channel. You lost one subscriber.
Oye, voy a decir algo importante en español. Algo que creo que también es la pasión. Ahorita traducimos lo que comentó John, pero creo que es esta pasión que se comparte. La pregunta específica fue de uno de las personas que consideramos más detallistas que existe, de Jack Burgess, y un poco la relación. Y John nos está contestando que existe una relación, que son amigos y que comparten algún vínculo y que te interesa lo que él dice. Creo que yo de mi parte agregaría es la pasión, el respeto, y por ahí lo hemos escuchado, el ferromodelismo es familia. Y el respeto yo lo pongo en el punto de pues hay a la gente que le gusta la perfección absoluta y hay otra que le gusta correr un Thomas junto a una Backman y le pone luego una Martin ahí y es perfecto y todos lo respetamos. Creo que eso lleva a tener una buena relación y estar interesados por los demás. Entonces, un poquito complementar lo que platicaba John. Ahorita se lo traducimos, pero creo que la pasión, el respeto y sobre todo esto, por ahí no me acuerdo si fue Ken Silvestri el que dijo que el ferromodelismo es acerca de familia, ¿no? Que no nada más es padres, hijos, también son personas, amigos.
Mira, me gustaría, o sea, traducimos primero de Jack y después déjame decirle algo. Y le quiero preguntar sobre Michelle también, porque Michelle es una importante persona y no estamos dándole espacio. La verdad podríamos hablar por horas con John.
I want to add something if I can. When you're done, when you're done translating, I want to add something, please.
Yeah, we just want to translate about John, Jack, sorry, and just you're okay with that. So yes.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because Martin, you asked me, what's it like to run a train with him? And I'm going to tell you something that most people, I think, don't know. Jack doesn't run trains. That's not his interest. He is not an operator. He is a builder.
Okay.
So while it is true that his layout was actually built for operations, and he has a very good op session scheme, he does not go out and run it. He only turns it on when there's a visitor, and even when there's a visitor, he doesn't run trains. He shows people what's there, because if you think about it, and he and I have had this conversation, and I told him his layout is not a model train or a model railroad layout. His layout is a museum exhibit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's the level.
I agree.
Yeah. Right. That's the level of fidelity to the prototype. He took it to a completely different place, and I have not seen anybody's layout that is as exact as his layout. There's a joke that we have sometimes that if it's not on the layout, it must have not existed in real life, because it's not there.
Exactly.
Right. So the other thing I want to mention that I think is kind of goes into the timeline of the channel. Remember, we were talking earlier about the timeline of the channel. And I mentioned that I got a lot more serious when I quit my job in 2015. And then around 2018, there was someone that I was doing videos with here who I think that he wants people to believe that he's an expert, but he isn't really. And you can tell sometimes, he makes mistakes. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but these are pretty obvious mistakes. And I guess
we lost Eduardo.
I must have really made him angry. No,
No,
I'm just kidding. But
just continue because we still live.
okay, okay. So anyway, in 2018, I started doing the videos with Jack, and it was really refreshing to have this level of preparation and professionalism, because before that, I didn't really. I was working with someone that was habitually unprepared and kind of what we call flaky. And I looked up in Spanish, I think what you say is perezoso y no
Perezoso,
le gusta trabajar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Muy bien. Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
So, so it's very, it's just a real treat and an honor and a privilege to get to work with someone like Jack.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyway, I wanted to add that because the contrast is very stark.
Well, and that's the thing I imagine, and that's the reason the question is to trigger this conversation and you to open about that person, because what you see is not what really it is real, because you only see maybe 1 hour of, I don't know, maybe 1 week there in the show, and I have the chance to meet people similar in Australia. Like in Australia, there are modelers like really not like him, but just maybe one step down. And until you meet the real person, because you have the model and you have the real person, you can connect the dots very good. And I always have the impression, Chuck, because he's humble enough to open his museum to everyone. And that's what.
Yeah, Martin, he loves to show it to people. If you're ever in this area, or Eduardo, if you guys are ever around here, I can take you to his place.
I will go. It's one of my trips. It's one of my trips next year, so I will be there. So I'm sure we'll meet. And look, before I translate, it's something else we always say in this channel. We call people like you, Jack, or other people, we call celebrities to say somehow you are, in relation is like that war, or the top of the model, but you have something in common. You are humble people who like to share the hobby. Like, I know many people, they don't even get out, one step out of over the floor, and they are horrible people. They are greedy. And they're true. And you know what I'm talking. There are people in all the hobbies. It's not only model trains. And that's one thing. This channel we share with the people. I say, you are humble. Yeah, you know your stuff, but you are open. You like to share, and that's what we're looking. This is a hobby. And again, going back to your interview from yesterday with Michelle, the hobby is to share with our buddies and meet people. That's it.
One of the things, Martin, that I want to say about that is we have another. I have a lot of videos. I was looking the other day. It's just like 1,400 videos on my channel. So another series that is pretty popular with certain people is Chasing Trains. Okay, have you seen Chasing Trains?
Yes, of course, yeah.
And there's a saying that I've had on Chasing Trains for years, which is when we go chasing trains, it doesn't matter if we see a train at all, because we're out there with our buddies. That's exactly right. You're there with people who want to be there.
Yeah.
You're spending time together. It's nothing but laughing and joking and just having a great time. And I hope that when people watch those videos, that's exactly what they get from them, because that stuff is not scripted. We're not writing things down saying, oh, let's talk about this, let's talk about that. I just turn on the camera, and then what people see on the program is like the best stuff they got recorded that we thought was funny or that made us, smile or laugh. So
and that's life. And I think we just, John, let me translate, because I think we're making this a good
sí,
oye, this is a good thing.
Oye, también no sé qué me pasó, creo que me fui un momento. Algo
está bien, pero seguimos.
Qué bueno, sí.
Bombas.
Qué bueno, que no se
bombas.
qué bueno que no se cortó. Alguien, sabes, el internet falla a última hora, pero quién sabe qué pasó. Ya, estamos de regreso. Oye, sí, para que traduzcas.
Sí, porque nos fuimos y le quiero preguntar sobre Michelle también. John, we're going to translate about Jack because we didn't take a thing about him yet. Yo le preguntaba si ustedes siguen el canal de John o si no, síganlo después de este video. Él tiene una serie que es una persona que se llama Jack Burgess, que es uno, creo que es, yo lo llamaría, para compararlo futbolísticamente, el Messi de los modelistas. Es una persona que realmente no tiene un layout y tiene un museo. Es la perfección del modelismo. Si realmente quieren ver lo que es la perfección, ese es un buen ejemplo. Y la pregunta iba a John, refiriéndose cómo es Jack detrás de la cámara o detrás de la layout, porque uno lo ve perfeccionista, tipo casi frío, por decirlo de una manera, y John nos dice lo contrario, que es una persona muy cordial, abierta, que le gusta la perfección y que es muy profesional y que está del día uno ayudando a John en sus videos. Y nos dio como ejemplo que cuando John abrió el Patreon para pagar, Jack fue una de las primeras personas que lo hizo. También nos contó muy interesantemente que Jack le gusta modelar, pero no correr trenes. Si bien el layout es perfecto para hacer operaciones, él le gusta modelar y no hacer las sesiones, y que obviamente es abierto a recibir gente visitante. Y John muy cordialmente te invitó a vos, Eduardo, y a mí, si algún día estamos por la zona, a llevarnos a verlo a Jack, entre esas cosas. Así que bueno, eso, y vamos todo lo que siempre decimos y lo que decíamos. Esta
Perfecto.
gente tan buena del modelismo tiene una característica: son amables, son abiertos y les gustan compartir. Y creo que a través de este año y medio que estamos en este canal, creo que esa es la coincidencia entre todos.
Oye, y ahorita un poquito, no sé, no le pregunté mucho el tiempo a John, pero a lo mejor para cerrar con Michelle y un poco sus
Sí,
pensamientos de su
invitarlo
vida, John.
a otro capítulo.
Sí, pero creo que John quiere agregar algo más sobre Jack. So,
Sí.
John, I think that
No, ya
you,
sí, perdón.
I
no,
want to. I
si
have a
van a,
funny, yeah. What I think is kind of a funny story, but I think it reveals something about Jack, but it also reveals something about me, and it also reveals something about why he and I work very well together. So, to tell this story, I need to go back to 2016, I think it was, when I met him the first time. And I got to his contact information from a mutual friend. And so I called him and we talked on the phone, and he invited me to come over. And it wasn't to do the layout tour, it was just to meet him and see the layout and get an idea. And this kind of feeds into the idea that he never runs his layout. He wasn't ready to do a layout tour because he only runs it when he needs to. And the next time he was going to run it was the following March. It was like 6 or 7 months away. So he said that, I don't want to clean the track, so we'll do the layout tour after the operating session. It was an invitational, right? So people get invited to run trains from all over the world, and they come to the Bay Area and run on these layouts, and his is one of them. So I'm like, yeah, that's great, whatever. I can tell the layout's really good. But a couple things. One, when I met him, I didn't really know who he was. I did not know that he's like a rock star of model railroading. So to me, it was just another guy, and I'm just talking to him like some guy that I just met. Right now, still respectful, but just how we're talking, right? I'm not a celebrity. We're just guys talking, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I talked to him like a normal person, and I think he really appreciates that, because I think that he's accustomed to having people come up and be, oh my God, it's Jack. Oh, you're so great. Just gushing over the guy. But I don't think he really likes that necessarily. Anyway, so fast forward to the layout tour. So I show up, we do the whole layout tour, shoot the whole thing in one day. And then I went home that night and I edited the whole thing. I was up until the next day, really. And it was pretty good. It was not bad. And I uploaded a sample. I knew it was an important layout tour because I realized by then who he was and how important it was to do it right. And I called him up, and we weren't really friends yet, at that point. We were just, I knew him and had gone to his house to do the recordings. And I called him up after he had a chance to watch the preview that I put up for him. And I said, there's some stuff in this video that I think we could have done better, but it requires me to bring lights and it will take longer. And I'm really trying to be considerate of your time, because you must be very busy. You write all these articles, and, people want you to talk and do all this stuff, whatever. And I said, so, we can put it out like this, but I do think it could be made better, but it just will take time. And he said to me, his answer to that on the phone was, I'm retired. Okay. Which is code. See, you're smiling, right? You know what I'm talking about. He's like, hey, I have time. So I think, and we've had conversations that sort of verify this hypothesis that I have, that he saw that as a commitment of making something really good.
Yes.
And if you know who Jack Burgess is, that's him. He has the commitment to make it really good. So I think I think that we have a mutual respect in that way. He is doing the same, or has done the same thing with his modeling, and sees that I'm trying to do something similar to that with making videos. So this sort of being a perfectionist, does that make sense? Where
totally.
Yeah, so I think in a way, I don't know, because I haven't asked him directly this question, but I think that we have this mutual respect for the level of quality of work that we're doing. And I mean, he's told me that he wouldn't have anybody else try to make these videos that we do. He's just like, no.
And John, so something is also, these kind of people are the teachers of the new generations coming in the model. And what you're doing now is making a document forever, almost, let's say, for the next generations. And I hope that document you have in your hands, there are 14 pages. You keep that safe for the next people coming. And that's the thing. These people are so special. We need to take advantage in a way of your work, of his work, and learn from them and pass it to the next one.
Oye, y voy a agregar algo en español. Hace una hora comentábamos que hay muchos videos, pero necesitamos calidad y trabajo. Lo que acaba de comentar John, ahorita lo traducimos textualmente, pero es la calidad de la producción de los videos que hace John con la calidad del trabajo que hace Jack.
Exacto.
Entonces, a final de cuentas, un poco platicó la historia de la primera vez que fue a grabar y todo esto, pero para resumirlo en muy pocas palabras, creo que es esto, que los dos se respetan, los dos reconocen la calidad del trabajo de uno y del otro, o el detalle hacia el ferromodelismo y el detalle hacia un buen video. Entonces creo que esto, pues bueno, es un ejemplo más, ¿no? de la calidad del producto que hay.
Sí, correcto.
The other thing about working with him is, like I was saying before, it's not like a work session. We're friends, so we're just joking and laughing.
You enjoy,
right? There's a lot of happiness that I think we get from each other by I tell him it's a great excuse to hang out, and something his wife.
And you have the funniest moment too. I like it when you put that in the videos, the funny moments or the mistakes of when you
bloopers. The bloopers.
That's good. The bloopers. That's good.
That stuff just happens, and that's another thing. He doesn't take himself so seriously that he's like, no, don't put that in there. He laughs at it, so people should know that.
That's life. That's life.
Yeah. Something that I thought was really, really funny. I went to work with him one day, and I'm friends with his wife too. We're all friends. She's super, super nice. And she told me one time, because she's in the house when we're filming, and she says to me, we were getting ready to go to lunch or something, and she said it was early on. She says, I like it when you come over and work with Jack. She says, because when other people come over and they go into his office, I don't hear anything. She says, but when you come over and you guys go into his office, I hear every so often you're laughing. I thought, well,
No. Look, and again, I have the luck to live in a country where we have a few shacks around, and I know that also they feel good too, because what you're doing with him is good for him too. It's not only for us, so it's a connection there. It's mutual, and of course, he puts so much effort.
He always thanks me for what I'm doing, and
No, that's amazing. And I know this. I hope you have the time, because really this is lovely. Like I said, we can talk forever. Like
sí. Oye, es lo que te iba a comentar.
Before we translate this, in the middle, I give you a few seconds to think something similar about Michelle, because we want to know Michelle, but we translate about Jack, and you come back with Michelle. That's okay?
Sure, yeah.
Eduardo, please.
Bueno, de la traducción, mucho lo que se platicaba, lo que estaba comentando es la parte del respeto, ¿no? De que incluso cuando están ahí, pues bueno, bromean y conviven, que es lo que hemos tratado de decir, que mucho del ferromodelismo es convivir. O sea, sí puedes trabajar en el tren y operar lo que sea, pero más allá es llevarte bien con la persona, compartir algo y pues bueno, todo en torno a esto. La verdad, la primera parte no la agarré bien, que tenía aquí problemas con mi compu, pero bueno, un poquito cerrar eso, ¿no? Que realmente es el respeto de los dos, de sus profesiones, y que afortunadamente se juntaron y lo llevan a un nivel de amistad que se ve, ¿no? Que se ve en los videos.
Sí, se nota, pues si no saldría así, o sea, no es trabajo. Y como dijo él al principio, ellos no viven de esto, o John no vive de esto, es como... o sea, ese amor por el arte, amor por el arte, es simple,
Exacto.
es eso, es pasión, es increíble. ¿Me dejas preguntarle sobre Michelle? Sobre Jack.
Sí, decirle, mira, si quieres, sobre tiempo, si quieres cerramos con Michelle y pues bueno, que nos deje su consejo, ¿no? Para los que siempre pedimos que nos piden. Adelante.
Okay, John, sorry, we don't want to abuse the time, but I hope you agree to do a second part in the near future, and also, one day Eduardo and me, we will, you want us in one of your podcasts, or would you want to talk with us, I think we feel close, in a way. So like I wish we live close in California so we can meet, soon, but it's not possible yet. Or you come to Australia too. That's you have a place to stay. If you want to come to Australia and see our beautiful trains and model trains and make videos here, you're welcome at any time. So
okay, I might take you up on that.
Like I say, I know you have a direct flight from San Francisco to Sydney, so I will pick you up at the airport. So I think you need to spend maybe.
Travel's very expensive because of lodging, so I might abuse that.
But like I say, my home is located in a good place of Australia, where, like I say, if we travel 300 km from one side or 300, you meet almost all the layouts in Australia. So I'm just in the middle. No, really, you can do a special edition of the layouts in Australia. So you're super welcome.
You're chasing trains.
Well, we have garage here, very beautiful locomotive too, and Australia is a country where they invest a lot of restoration. So and I have a friend in Melbourne who we did an interview who chased trains in Victoria, it's another state, and lot of connection here. You can.
So, okay, cool. I know I have a lot of viewers in Australia too, so that would be really fun.
Well, we can plan it. Happy now without COVID, or COVID under control in this country. You're welcome. Okay, Michelle, another special person you have in your show, and please ask her one day if she would like to participate in this Spanish fan show. She's super welcome. We love to have her here.
She'll do it. I don't even have to ask her. She'll do it.
Martín, solamente di en español. A lo mejor muchos, espero que no saben quién es Michelle. Ella es la directora del Museo Colorado, ¿sí es correcto?
Sí.
Entonces, nada más para aclarar eso. Ella tiene el trabajo en sueño de muchos. Es la directora de unos museos también más increíbles que he visto en YouTube. Y pues bueno, ha salido en varios programas. Y es también co-host, creo que de John, en su podcast.
De John, sí. Sí, y está bueno que la gente investigue sobre Michelle y vean los videos de John, de
Así
paso, si
es.
la quieren conocer. Vamos a dejarle, no le vamos a dar todo, que
Ok,
busquen.
exacto.
Okay. Now we
feel like
say, John, to the
I
people.
feel like I'm supposed to answer, but I didn't understand you.
No,
No,
I just said, who is Michelle? I said that that she has like a dream job for many of us. That he's the director of the museum in Colorado.
Yep.
And that's it. That's only that I say in Spanish. And now,
and we say to the people, say, if you want to know more about her, just watch your videos. Go into your channel.
Yeah, let me tell you something about her, because you asked earlier, and I think it's worth mentioning. Whatever you think she's like from watching the videos, okay, we do the live stream every month.
Yeah,
we did now, I think, 2 episodes of Chasing Trains together. That's who she is. There is nothing. There is no fake, facade put on. Probably like you're talking. Well, let me ask you. You've been talking to me now. We've been talking for an hour and a half.
Yes.
Do I seem like the same person you get when you watch my channel?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
She is exactly the same person you get when you see her. She is nice all the time. She is super helpful. She laughs a lot. That's why we get along, right? Because it's the same thing. We're just laughing. We're making fun of each other, not in a bad way, but if I said something to her, about her hair or something, she would probably laugh, and she probably would not say something to me about my hair, but she would laugh and realize that it was something that was intended to be funny. And that's a bad example, but if you watch this, like watch the Chasing Trains videos, usually she's driving and I'm making jokes about how we're getting lost, and she doesn't get mad, right? She doesn't get mad for 2 reasons. One, we were getting lost, and 2, it was funny.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And look, let me correct something. You say, you ask if you look the same way when you do the video. No, you're not. You are much better now. It's good. Because you know why? Because we are live. Here is nothing. It's no production, and we didn't talk before. You start, especially me. I started talking maybe 1 hour and a half. Eduardo maybe another 15 minutes on top of that. So you are real, because this is live. There's nothing here. So we don't have any paper say who is John.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're not doing a Jack Burgess presentation.
No.
This is not the Jack way. This is the opposite.
Yeah. I will admit, though, that I did see the kinds of questions that you wanted to ask me ahead of time. So maybe that
they look so polite. They look so polite in paper.
That was Eduardo. That wasn't me.
No, I did that because John asked me, please send me the questions. And I say questions. It's like a general topic.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just wanted to see. Maybe there's some weird questions. I don't know.
I don't know. There are a lot of weird, but we don't write those things.
No. Okay. Let me translate, because this is so funny, and many people are saying, what are they saying? Pero, la verdad, como ven, esto es lo importante de todo, ¿no? O sea, la realidad, ¿no? Somos transparentes, como me ven aquí, como ven, así somos en la realidad. Sí. La pregunta un poco que estamos hablando de Michelle, John nos dijo, Michelle es tal cual como la ves en los videos, alegre, divertida, igual que John. Estuvimos platicando un poco y dice, mira, así como me ves, es en los videos y así soy en la vida real. Y Martín le dice, no, eres mucho mejor. O sea, lo que estamos hablando, nosotros no tratamos de ocultar, aparentar, nada. Somos reales. Y al final estamos bromeando un poco de que pues, John me había pedido un poco, oye, ¿qué me vas a preguntar? Así como que para prepararme. Le dije, pues, cosas sencillas, y realmente creo que salió bien. La verdad, sí, yo te siento que abusamos ya mucho tiempo y lo vamos a comprometer para una segunda edición.
Seguro.
Martín, me gustaría que él cierre con algún pensamiento que nos deje para todos los nuevos, los viejos, todo esto, y si tú quisieras agregar algo más, y pues sí, luego comprometerlo, que nos contacte a Jack, a Michelle y él para la segunda, versión.
Obvio, ni hablar. John, we just translate about Michelle, and that was great again. a lot of time. I say you 1 hour 30. We don't want to take all your time, but please, as I said, our invitation to a second part of this, because we need to continue talking about this, please. So yeah,
well,
we're going to.
I don't know if you guys have to go. I can probably do at least another 20 minutes.
I'm okay, Eduardo.
Okay. Yeah, sobre todo, otro poquito para cerrar un poco la parte de lo que le preguntan, los consejos, o sea, con toda su experiencia y aparte del parafraseo, creo que sería un buen tema. Digo, tenemos 15, 20 minutos más.
Sí, bueno, dale, seguimos, dale. Le voy a preguntar sobre YouTube, cómo se maneja y cómo maneja la gente negativa, positiva, porque siempre todos tenemos. A que nos explique esa parte, que es linda para saber.
Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
On my channel, we have a record of 4 hours and 8 minutes. That's the longest stream.
Wow.
So, okay. So you telling. So now you see that's a problem. This is a provocation. So that means next second part we're going to do
another
5 hours. Okay.
Not 2 hours and 12.
No, it's 4 hours and 9 minutes. That way we break.
No, we're going to do for 5. So I just buy one texter for you, so you will sit there. We ask questions for 5 hours.
If you want me to go for 5 hours, you need to feed me, give me some beer and something to
pizza and beer.
So
we need to Uber Eats. We need to send Uber Eats to John.
So when you coming to Australia? That's the next question.
Yeah, I don't know.
when you have your ticket.
I do. Well, I don't have any immediate. To be serious about the question, I don't have any immediate plans really for any serious travel until this COVID thing is more resolved. But I do want to say something else briefly about Michelle, which is that you wouldn't know just from watching her talk or whatever, because she does something, and it's her. I mean, this is just how she is. She does something where she kind of giggles, and I think it's her way of, when she's unsure and she's nervous about something, she does that. She laughs. But, she's actually a pretty serious person, and she's really smart. So, people think, oh, she's just like an airheaded blonde or something like that. And it's not. She is actually and she's also a very connected person. She knows a lot of people, and she's just a real pleasure to work with. After the live shows that she and I do together, when you stop StreamYard, you're still there, but end the broadcast, and we'll talk for a couple of minutes because it's the only time we have to talk. She's very, very busy, and she takes time out of her schedule to do that show with me, and I thank her every time. And she thanks me. She's like, "Oh no, thank you. I really enjoy doing, kind of really enjoy doing this," and so forth. She's just a really great person to work with, and she's also pretty prepared. She invites people onto that show, because it's her show too, right? It's not just me. When I named that show Talking Trains with Michelle and John, I put her first because that's her show as much as it's my show. I just happen to have it on my channel, and she's nice enough to do it. And I can't think of really anybody else that I would rather have that show with, because there's no shortage of, well, I mean, we also laugh a lot, in case you didn't notice, and it's all genuine. I mean, we really do enjoy each other's company, and it's just it's a great friendship, and I'm really glad that I got to meet her. So
I tell you now, if you are not genuine or transparent, you are a very good actor. Okay, so I think you're close to Hollywood, and you can go for that job because
that's what it is.
So if you are fake, you are super good. So go for a different job.
There's something about me that I've realized over the years, which is that I have a genuine interest in people. I'm not just talking to you guys. If I were someone that's like, I don't want to talk to these guys, I probably would have told you ahead of time, I can only do this for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. But no, I mean, look, there's something that my wife told me, which is someone else we should probably talk about at some point. But she told me one time, because there was somebody wanted something from me. I don't remember what exactly the situation was. But I told her, and she says, well, why not help them? I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. It's free to help people, and it will help someone, right? That's kind of, and I mean, I'm not saying, oh, I'm sympathetic to you, so I'm trying to help you out or whatever. I'm just having a conversation with hopefully 2 new friends, right? That's how I look at it. And it's free to do it. It just costs time. And there's a level of generosity, I think, that I've been a great recipient of a lot of really generous people, generous with their time, generous with their knowledge. In many cases, right? In many cases, I have, well, really everybody that appears on my channel now is a friend of mine. And like I was saying before, I could call any of the people that I've done the layout tours with, and they would seem like they were happy to hear from me. And, if I needed something or had a question, they would take the time to answer. And I think
I think that we have the same feeling because we interview Mike Boddy, Daniel Coons, and
isn't Mike great?
Yeah, many other people, and at the end, they are friends, and you feel a connection, and this is really great. We spend time. We are friends on Facebook sometimes, and I think this is because we are together for the hobby. And
for the hobby and for the and Eduardo, something like I say, John, Eduardo and me, we never met. We just interchanged one email in YouTube and say, let's do something, translate video from English with, and we never dreamed to get to this level, to be honest. That's personally, like I say, to have a person like you in this channel it is amazing, because I watch your videos and say, even let's say I never, and Eduardo came the last week, I got John and say, what? No, but really, like I say, and that was my reaction. And with Eduardo, like I said, maybe we don't talk for 3-4 weeks until he sent me a link, or I send a link. We got this person here. Let's do it. Blah blah blah. And we don't prepare anything, but there is a connection. I say, Eduardo, I call you my friend. I never meet Eduardo in my life. I don't know, how tall he is. But that's the truth. And the same with you, John. Like I say, and again, in this hobby, and I don't want to go there, but I follow your videos when you did with I think it was Daniel, the other person, and and look, people, it is amazing, and that's again the hobby. We are on the same page, and we have good intentions, and that's, we like to share the hobby, basically.
I want to clear something up real quick, Eduardo.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I think like 5'8", 5'7". I don't know exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Martin, is that taller than you expect? Yeah, is that taller than you expected or shorter than you expected?
I know the Mexicans, they are not very tall. That's what I know.
No, that's correct. Mexican average is like 5'3", 5'4".
Oh, so you're very tall.
For Mexican, yeah.
Gigante.
Más o menos. Sí, un poco estamos preguntando de que como que nunca nos hemos conocido, no sabemos ni nuestra altura ni nada, y me preguntaban cuál era mi estatura. Le digo, pues yo mido como, en México usamos centímetros, 1.75, 1.77, traducido a lo que usan en Estados Unidos en otro lado es 5'8", 5'7". El promedio de los americanos es como que 1.80, pero aún así.
No, más.
Como promedio, es más.
John, you know how big I am?
No. 8 feet tall. I don't know.
Look the turbine I have behind. So look how big I am.
It's a tricky. That's a tricky question. That's a tricky question.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, I'm not sure what he's really asking.
Yeah, that's a tricky question.
In Australia it's 1 o'clock or something. So.
Eso se llama alburear un poquito en inglés, porque le hice una pregunta de qué tan grande soy y yo no entendía a qué se refería, pero bueno. Oye, nos vamos a seguir. Yo creo que mira, ya que son casi las 2 horas, yo ya me tengo que ir a cenar.
Vos la tenías que arruinar, sos vos.
Sí,
Mala
exacto,
onda.
sí. Tengo que ir a ver mi calidad con el NSE.
John said we need to finish because Eduardo needs to go have dinner.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. I'm sorry, it's late for me. I need my dinner. No, but seriously, thank you very much, John. This was amazing, and I need to say that we missed our first interview. I don't know, something happened with my messenger. Then we took back the conversation and said, "Oh, what about this?" And I said, "John, sorry, something happened with my messenger. I forget. I don't know." But
let them know I called you back.
yeah, no, that's correct. But the show was perfect, and if I can, I will send you the link because sometimes I use WeTransfer, and 2 hours. This is gonna be the first time that I send a big link.
Yeah.
So perhaps I will give you my StreamYard code, and you can download from my account, and that's better. But before we go, we always finish with some thoughts of our special guest, in this case you, an advice for the young people, for someone who is new for the hobby. You know the big layout, you know the big stuff, Rapido, DCC, everything. But for a new guy, it doesn't matter the age, if he's or a teenager or in the middle 20s or 30s. What is some advice that you have? What are the 2 or 3 advice that you will have?
Advice about what?
About the
to start the hobby. So how to start, like say, for example, I don't know, buy I start
a backman set,
do research.
Right.
Anything you think is a good advice for somebody who is just thinking about the hobby.
So we're talking about the hobbies of model railroading.
Could be hobby like chasing trains. Could be something that anything you think. The first thing, if I, let's say I'm new and say, John, I would like to be part of this amazing world of trains. What I should do? Where? Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I would say that's more of a general advice, if you want to call it that, is to not waste time with the people who don't really want to be there. And you can take that to mean whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because that ends up being a big waste of time. And, and you can tell people that really want to be somewhere will have the kinds of reactions like we're talking about, like if you go chasing trains and you don't see a train, if all they do is complain, they don't really want to be there. If they if they have a great time, despite not seeing any trains, then they wanted to be there because they had fun with their friends, which is what it was about in the first place. So that's one thing. As far as getting into model railroading specifically, I think the best advice I could give is that to understand as much as you can about the hobby and all the different things that you can do in the hobby, and try as much of those things as you find interesting to find out what you like the most, and then pursue what you like the most. So I'm not going to say, buy a Bachmann train set or buy Athearn or buy whatever. I'm going to say, because you might not even end up buying a train set. You might just like to do research. That's a perfectly, perfectly legitimate way to enjoy the hobby. Something else that I would also say, if you do want to get into something like operations, I'm into operations. I'm going to go to an operating session tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. If you want to get into something like that, find the people around you that do it and ask them about it. Because you'll probably, if you live where I live, you're going to find that the people in the community in the Bay Area are very open and very welcoming and very generous, and you can learn a lot from them. You can try operations, and you may find that you're better at it than someone who's much older than you are. Okay. Advice to younger people. But the important thing is to put yourself out there. We have a really, really excellent story. And I don't want to do any spoilers here, but there's going to be next month, we're going to record, the plan is to record a Chasing Trains episode. And one of the people on that Chasing Trains episode is going to be a young person that I met at the virtual NMRA convention that we put on last July. I was part of the people who planned it. And anyway, I met this really neat kid. And I think he's, I don't know, 12 or 13. He lives far away, but he's going to come out with his parents. And one of our mutual friends that he also met at that convention just by talking to people, okay? He put himself out there. And he's going to, not only are we going to do Chasing Trains, but we're also going to do an operating session at a very well-known layout. As a matter of fact, it's the layout that I just had the layout tour come out on last week. And it was our guest this past Wednesday, the day before yesterday, Jim Providenza, who's a very well-known modeler. He's going to come out here and do an operating session with Jim and me and some other people on Jim's layout when he comes out here. The reason why is because he put himself out there and talked to us, online. It was at the national convention that we held. It was a Zoom meeting. So that's advice to young people, that if you don't put yourself out there to meet people, whether it's online or, if you're in an area that's densely populated, go to the local hobby shop and talk to the people there and find out who runs trains and get introduced to people. If you don't put yourself out there, you'll be doomed to whatever you can come up with on your own.
That there are great advice. Let me try to translate.
Sorry, it was too much.
That's perfect. Si quería traduzco uno y tu otro, pero me gustó mucho el segundo que comentaba, que él decía, no te va a recomendar compra esto, compra lo otro, sino que al principio es investiga lo que más puedas del hobby, ve qué quieres hacer y al final ve qué es lo que te gusta, porque dice, a lo mejor a ti lo que te gusta hacer es investigar, o sea, y no compras nada, o sea, nada más eres una persona que le gusta mucho investigar, o a lo mejor eres una persona que le gusta hacer dioramas, pero no comprar trenes, o no correrlos, o no hacer DCC, porque en la mayoría de sus programas siempre hay alguien dice, no, pues compra esto, ve aquí o allá, y creo que ahorita John nos muestra una nueva etapa, ¿no? Que pues, a lo mejor simplemente con investigar o ver videos, y ya con eso. Y el primero, si quieres, tú tradúcelo, donde decía que pues, estar con las personas correctas.
Correcto, sí.
Que disfrutarlo.
O sea,
¿no?
que si la persona no quiere estar ahí con vos cuando no está la acción, si fuiste a ver trenes y no hay trenes y no estás de mal humor, básicamente es eso. O fuiste a pescar y no pescaste nada, te das cuenta que no es lo tuyo. Simple. Muy simple.
Así es. Sí, sobre todo eso. Y el del último que comentaba, salir a buscar, bueno, dos más, que uno decía de que, que él va a ir a operaciones el día de mañana y que vayas y que aprendas sobre todo eso, que a lo mejor descubres que es algo que te gusta, estar muy, muy involucrado. Y el último que decía que pues, salir a buscar, o sea, que ya sea, y no se refiere a salir a la calle, sino pues puedes meterte a reuniones como esta, a transmisiones, a hobby shops, si hay hobby shops en tu lugar donde vives, salir a buscar esa otra gente que también ya hace algo. Y creo que la verdad son muy buenos consejos, diferentes a los que nos habían dado, y la verdad, diferente la plática, diferente todo, entonces creo que es un buen sabor de boca que nos llevamos todos con John, y de mi parte, increíble. Agradecerle, comprometer que tendremos alguna otra la versión 2.0.
I have an important question.
Yeah.
Did you remember to tell people the part about only use the time with people that want to be there?
That was one of the most important. Me estaba preguntando que si comentamos lo que disfrutar el tiempo con la gente que realmente quiere estar. Sea que si fuiste a perseguir trenes y no los viste, o a lo mejor nada más fueron a sentarse a una maqueta y darle vueltas y tomar unas copas, pero estás disfrutando con la gente. Creo que eso es muy, muy importante.
Sí. Bueno, genial. ¿Crees que le vaya diciendo
sí,
algo para despedir?
Sí.
Yeah. Okay, John, we try to close to 2 hours. And again, I hope. Well, I think we have your word to have a second part with you.
No, I mean, you're the ones that only talked about that. I didn't say to do that.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, like I say, we are.
Yeah, what we should do is have Michelle on at the same time, so I can make fun of her.
That's another. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Also, you need us one day, or you want us in one of your little amazing jobs. Shows.
I have a suggestion for that.
The Latin America point of view in the hobby.
Every month, Michelle and I do a live broadcast. Call in.
Yeah, well, but that's a good idea. Yeah, Eduardo, you can plug that to our.
That's great. That sounds great for me. If you support our bad English, sometimes
I support your bad. I understood everything except when you were speaking Spanish.
Well, that's great.
Excellent.
That's right.
Excellent. So to run it up. So like I say, this was amazing. As we say at the start to the people, we say this is going to be great, and spot on. I hope this is the start of a virtual, at least, friendship to the future. And to talk about trains or other things, because I think you have other interests. And and obviously I think a lot of people they watch your videos, but they can't understand everything because the language. This one, this show helped them to meet the real John, like it's always, but in the Spanish version at least. And
also
so many things. So many things to talk. Like I said, the virtual, in the future when you organize the virtual Emirate tours, many things. I say I wanted to ask you about the Facebook, YouTube, many things. Like I'm not going to mention now, but so many things. And from my heart, thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to meet you. And well, for me, that's all.
I would also like to thank both of you for asking me to do this. I had a lot of fun, and I would like to thank all of your viewers for watching too, because without the viewers, all of us really don't have a lot to say, only to each other. So
okay.
Well, but thank you very much. I think that Martin said already all. This is a different experience. I really enjoy
it was
the interview, and of course we're gonna see you later. I don't know, by StreamYard, YouTube, or perhaps in real life. I don't know. The life is kind of different right now, but I have a plan to visit United States perhaps in these years, and I will try to meet you. So, ahora en español, gracias a todos. Le dije a John, muchas gracias. Un placer. Buenas noches aquí, buenas tardes en Australia, buenos días donde quieran. Salud, síganse cuidando. Seguimos en pandemia. Vacúnense los que no se quieran vacunar y nos vemos.
Nos vemos.
Hasta luego.
Chao, chao.